Rock and Roll Geek Show 670.
Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA. Online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Saturday, December 5th, 2015, when I'm recording this show, and it's 9:23 p.m., way past my bedtime. I had a gig last night with the Feather Witches in Fairfax, California, and I am on very little sleep, but and I usually fall asleep about 7 p.m., so I'm up late, friends, and I'm going to open my second beer of the day. The first beer I had was a very large Asahi from Japan. Chiaki, my friend Chiaki from the Metal Moment podcast, came over. He left his jacket here on Thanksgiving, and since he came over, I said, why don't I make some yakitori on the grill? So he came over and we had some yakitori. We had some chicken thighs. We had some pork neck on skewers, sliced thin and put on skewers, some chicken livers, some free-range chicken livers, some hamachi sashimi, some tuna sashimi, some uni from Boston. Uni is sea urchin, and we had some rock cod that I caught from my fishing trip. So it was a nice meal, nice seeing Chiaki, and this is actually technically it's about my fourth. This is a fine Tecate. And you know what they say about the fourth beer of the day? It is always the best. Before I play a song, I'm going to open a piece of mail. This came from Chris Capelle. I have not opened this yet. Chris Capelle is the rock and roll copywriter. He always sends me a bottle opener, and I'm guessing that this is another bottle opener. I'm going to open the mail here. Yes, it is. Look at the... Uh-oh. Wow. Not only is it a bottle opener, it is two bottle openers, actually. One of them is from Ballantine Ale and Beer. It's like a normal, regular, a little bottle and can opener. And the other one is a Eiffel Tower bottle opener in honor of the French terror victims. Thank you so much, Chris Capelle. And also in this envelope is a check. Looks like a check. Or is it a bill? It is a check, and on the back, and it says for a show co-host in December, hopefully. 2 openers, 1 new and 1 vintage. The Ballantine beer is the vintage, and the new one is the Paris, France one. Chris Capelle, the rock and roll copywriter, you can co-host anytime, friend. Thank you for the $100 check. Very much appreciated, Chris Capelle. I appreciate it, friend. You now have credit for a co-host, so look forward to Chris Capelle coming on and programming the episode. Thank you so much, Chris Capelle. I really appreciate it. Before I get into the rest of the donations, let's play some music. This was sent to me actually from Derek Coward from the Comic Book Noise podcast. I had no idea that Derek Coward listened to the Rock and Roll Geek Show, but thank you for sending me this, Derek Coward. I had no idea that this existed. This is a new band it's a new band called the I Don't Cares, featuring Juliana Hatfield and the great Paul Westerberg. I'm not sure when this album is coming out, but this is the first song I have heard, and Derek Coward sent me the link. Here you go. This is Paul Westerberg and Juliana Hatfield. The I Don't Cares. The song is called King of America.
Scrubbed your toilets, man, I swept under your feet. Worked in your stores every boy. round in your factories. I did it all without a gun. Now it's my time to run. Shout it out, King of America. I wanna be. Shout it out, King of America. Give me some, 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 give me something I can be. King of America. I've worn your cheap little outfits. I've taken you sitting in drugs. You try to sweep me under your carpet. Stand aside. I've had enough. Shout it out, King of America. I wanna be. Shout it out, King of America. Every boy dreams of me. Shout it out, King of America. Shout it out, King of America. Shout it out, King of America. Shout it out, King of
There you go. That's a great tune. I cannot wait for that album. It's going to be so nice to have some new Paul Westerberg. Thank you, Derek Coward, for sending me that. I really appreciate it, friend. And I would also like to thank everybody who donated to the show this month, including Chris Capelle, the rock and roll copywriter. Without your donations, friends, I'm sorry I didn't do a show last week. It was a brutal week, friends. Let me tell you. If you want to find out about my brutal week, listen to the last Mad at Dad podcast that I did with Dave Slusher. Wow, what a week. What a week. What a week. Let's just put it this way, friends. Without your donations, this show would die a brutal, horrible, disgusting, putrid death. Here's the kind of death it would die of. If you walk into, let's just say that you have an old man friend. We'll just call him Don. Let me get some music going on here, background music before I thank the donors.
Okay, now.
In honor of the donations, George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers, a reissue of the debut album, which is way underrated in my opinion. Without your donations, friends, this show would die a brutal, horrible death. Repulsive, putrid death. What kind of putrid death? Well, let's just say you had an 80-year-old old man friend that you met at a dog park. We'll just call him Don for the sake of the story. It's the kind of putrid death this show would die. And your friend Don had a rotten toe that had gangrene. So foul and gangrene that a toe had to get amputated. Then he comes out of the hospital. They send him home because he has no insurance and his house is full of dog shit. And you go to bring him some Thanksgiving food. And come back and check on him 2 hours later and there's diarrhea shit all over the house that you have to clean up. That is the kind of putrid, horrible, smelly death. And the diarrhea is all over the toilet. All over the bathroom carpet. All over the floor of the toilet, all the way down the hall and up the old man's leg onto his amputated foot and scar running up his leg and you have to clean it. That is the kind of putrid, horrible death that this show will die without your donations, friends. All right. Long way to go. Where the hell's my list? Thank you to everybody who donated on Patreon. Slowly growing with the Patreon donors. That you can either donate on Patreon, or you can send me a check, or you can donate on PayPal. On Patreon, I would like to thank Eric Stowell for the $5 donation. Chiaki from the Metal Movement Podcast for the $5. Thank you, Chiaki. Friend of mine and friend of the show. Thank you to Brian Springer for the $5 on Patreon. Thank you to Mathew Hunt for the $5 on Patreon. Thanks to my podcast mentor, co-host of Mad at Dad, and host of the Evil Genius Chronicles, Dave Slusher, for the $5. And one of the greatest guys I know on the face of the earth. Thank you to Robert Harvey for the $2 on Patreon. I take a sip of this fine Tecate to everybody on Patreon who donated. And the PayPal donors, Eric Mortensen for the $100. Thanks to Chris Capelle for the $100. Thanks to Michael Viloria for the $2. Thanks to friend of mine and friend of the show, Ralph Miller, for the $10. Thanks to Anthony LoScalzo for the $2. I'll find some more music here on the... Here we go. George Thorogood, very good guitar player, does not get the credit he deserves. Thank you to Bradford Page for the $10. Did I already thank Ralph Miller? I think I did. Anthony LoScalzo for the $2. Thanks to Chris Stanley for the $10. Thanks to Patrick Shanahan for the $5. Thanks to Dave Jackson in the School of Podcasting for the $10. Thanks to Michael Stevens for the $10. Thanks to Dan McBride for the $5. Thank you to Eileen Parent, new donor, for the $5. Speaking of Eileen Parent, I got an email from Jason Shepard. He says, "Hey Butler, my lady friend, Eileen Parent is technologically challenged and doesn't use the internet or email, but she can't get enough of the great Rock and Roll Geek Show, so she asked that I make a special $25 donation in her name, so you may buy yourself some fine Tecates. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, or whatever seasonal greeting you prefer. Take care, brother. It would be great to hear that awesome Christmas tune you wrote, either the Flexapleasers version or the American Heartbreak version. Both are great. Cheers, Jason." All right, Jason, I need to find that on my iTunes, and then I will play that later on in the show, friend. Thank you to Eileen. What's her name? I lost my place. Eileen Parent for the $25. Thank you, Eileen. Thanks to friend of mine and friend of the show, Michael Mack, for the $2. Thanks to John Baveri for the $5. Thanks to Peter Spark for the $2. Thanks to Chris Harrison for the $10. Thanks to Delirium Record for $5. Mario Zoth for $2. Mark Bridges for the big $50 donation. Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate that, friend. I'll take a sip of this fine Tecate to you. Had no monitors last night, so I lost my voice singing. So I'm going to do my best to power through this. Where am I? Thanks to David Ivey for the $5. Thanks to Kelly Mitchell for the $5. Thanks to Paul Fondery for the $10. Thanks to Jeff Thielke for the $10. Thanks to Adrian Bosch and Bosch Rock in the forums for the $2. Thanks to Greg Long for the $5. Thanks to Dave Franco for the $10. Thanks to Dean Gillespie for the $5. Thanks to Richard Strom for the $5. Thanks to Sigmund Hidasher for $5. Thanks to Andrew Howe for the $5. Dale Roller for the $5. Thank you, Dale. Thanks to Jason Shepard for the $10. Thanks to Todd Cunningham for the $10. Thank you to Keenan O'Meara for the $5. Oh, why don't we play Jason, one of one of Keenan O'Meara's bands. Keenan O'Meara played in this band called Seabass Rockets. See if I can find this song. Now he's got a band called the Chinatown Angels. Here we go. Thank you to Keenan O'Meara for the $5. Thanks to Jeffrey Canaparoli for the $2. Thank you to Lassie Satvig-Hagen for the $2. Thank you to Stephen Mascord for the $5. Thanks to John Skiller for the $2. Thank you to Bradley Lisco, BJ Lisco for the $10. Thanks again, friends. I take a sip of this fine Tecate to everybody who donated. It is much appreciated. I cannot thank you enough, friends. Without your donations, this show would die a putrid, stinky, disgusting, diarrhea-filled death. There you go. Chinatown Angels. Thank you, Keenan O'Meara from Chinatown Angels, for the donation. I really appreciate it, friends. Well, a couple of days ago, somebody sent me a text and said, "Did you hear about Scott Weiland?" I said, "No." And then I got on the Facebook, and all you saw on Facebook, R.I.P. Scott Weiland. I never thought I would hear the day that Scott Weiland, well, no, I can't say that. But I want to say I never thought I would see the day that Scott Weiland was found dead, but it's not surprising. But here it is from Blabbermouth. I'm going to do a little bit of reading with Butler. All right, do a little bit of reading with Butler. Former Stonetown pilots. No. Calm down, Butler. Calm down. Take a sip of fine Tecate. And attempt to read slowly. Former Stone Temple Pilots and Velvet Revolver singer Scott Weiland was found dead on his tour bus in Minnesota. He was 48 years old. Or, as I could say, from the Facebook, from Dave Slusher, he said, "I would like to wish a rest in peace to the douchebag clip of the week. It died in its sleep on a tour bus." All right. Where am I here? A source connected to Scott's band, the Wildabouts, told TMZ Scott was discovered unresponsive on their tour. The guy connected to Scott's band talked to TMZ. Said Scott was discovered unresponsive on their tour bus Thursday night around 9 p.m. They had been scheduled to perform Thursday night at the Medina Entertainment Center in Medina, Minnesota. However, that concert was canceled 9 days ago because of slow ticket sales, according to StarTribune.com. The group was set to perform in Rochester on Friday at the Wicked Mouse. Or the Wicked Moose, excuse me. So they were on the tour bus. Shows were getting canceled, apparently. Weiland's wife, Jamie Weiland, confirmed his death to the LA Times, saying, "I can't deal with this right now. It's true." Weiland's manager, Tom Vitorino, also confirmed that the singer died Thursday. He said he learned of Weiland's death from his tour manager. Well, all I can say is rest in peace, Scott Weiland. I'm going to miss you, friend. It was fun goofing on Scott Weiland. Let me read a few more things. A few days ago, Weiland did an interview with Canada's The Todd Shapiro Show, where he did gave a lot of one-word answers and barely coherent responses. Why don't we listen to that little interview there? Let me see if I can find it here. Should I do in honor of Scott Weiland? How about it, for old time's sake?
From the files of the rock and roll geek, it's the douchebag clip of the week.
The Todd Shapiro Show, Sirius XM Channel 168.
This is on the Todd Shapiro Show.
Thank you.
I guess Todd Shapiro likes the metal.
Going down?
It's going down, man. It's going down.
We got Scott Weiland himself on the phone.
We do. Scott himself.
Scott, are you there?
His last interview.
Oh.
Is this Scott Weiland from Scott Weiland and the Wildabouts?
This is tour manager. Scott's sitting right next to me.
Can we throw on Scott right now?
Yeah, he's here.
Scott Weiland.
Hello.
Oh, fuck. See, rock and roll just happened, baby.
Rock and roll just happened. Now, again, as usually these douchebag clips go when I play a Scott Weiland interview, it ends up usually being the DJ who sounds like the douchebag.
That's what just went down. How are you, man?
All right.
All right.
I'm really grateful that you're on the phone.
Now, this is days before he died. Does he sound sober? I think not.
Thank you.
Whereabouts are you right now, Scott?
We're in Pennsylvania.
Wow, man.
Wow.
Do you like playing in Pennsylvania?
Love it.
I like playing everywhere.
Cool, dude. I'm so you're coming to Toronto soon too, where we broadcast from. And do you like playing in Canada too? That's everywhere.
Yep. I love playing Toronto.
Awesome, man. And how's it going with the Wildabouts and Blaster?
Couldn't be better.
Tour's going great.
Wow. Oh,
what's been your favorite part of the tour so far?
Brutal.
When my wife came out for a week.
Traveling with your wife, man. Does that is that one of the things? I guess the longer you've been playing music and as famous as you are, and from STP fame to Velvet Revolver to now the Wildabouts and some of your solo stuff, but is that some of the greatest moments still? Is knowing that your family is there with you, watching you do what you love?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, man. This music, and I listened to a couple of your tracks of the Wildabouts, which people can go get on iTunes and go to ScottWeiland.com, and you can get the album there too, and then see where the big tour is all across. We, here on Sirius XM, Scott, we talk to everyone, not just Toronto, even though we're here in Toronto, so you can see where the tour is anywhere from Pennsylvania to Toronto. What I noticed about some of the tracks is it seemed like some of it, man, was rock and roll, like old school rock and roll, kind of like a Stevie Ray Vaughan feel to me, and the others kind of like that alternative style, which you're known for too. Was that true? Is that just me? I'm not really a music pro. That's just what I heard.
I never really thought of Stevie Ray Vaughan. I thought more of Jack White and Arctic Monkeys.
Okay, all right.
Love it, man. But there's
the rock and roll geek. It's the douchebag clip of the week.
asked for his opinion on the current terror threat to the world. I didn't want to bore you through listening to it, but he says, see, now I want to listen to his opinion on the current terror threat. Asked for his opinion on the current terror threat to the world posed by the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, also known as ISIS, Weiland said, fuck ISIS, and if they come after me, I'll fucking pull out my Glock 17. Well, Scott Weiland is not going to be fighting ISIS. Sad to say, friends. Because Scott Weiland was found dead on the tour bus. In all seriousness, I'm sad to see Scott Weiland go. I'm going to miss hearing his interviews, his one-word interviews. Everybody on Facebook was saying, oh, Scott Weiland was such a talent. He was the soundtrack of my life. He's going to be sorely missed. Stone Temple Pilots just played such a big part. They were such an iconic band. That guy was the last of the true rock stars. So there you go. Also, I also heard that there was a bunch of coke found in the back near Scott Weiland, and one of the guys in the band, when the cops came on the bus, they found a bunch of coke in one of the guys' bunks, and one of the guys in the band had to take the fall and got arrested for coke possession. So there you go. Rest in peace to Scott Weiland. He's going to be very much missed by me. Who will fill the Scott Weiland spot on the douchebag clip of the week? I don't know. We'll have to find somebody. There's got to be somebody out there. Somebody out there that can take Scott Weiland's place in the douchebag clip of the week. In all seriousness, I do not wish death on anybody. I was not a Scott Weiland fan or a Stone Temple Pilots fan. As a matter of fact, whenever Stone Temple Pilots would come on the radio, I would change the channel because I could not stand that band. But I did like hearing interviews with Scott Weiland, and I like Scott Weiland. He seems like a heck of a nice guy. Let's just say that. All right. How do you follow that up? I don't know. How about with Godsmack's Sully Erna? I might as well go to that. Godsmack's Sully Erna. Let me pull that up. The singer for Godsmack says Nikki Sixx is an old, fat, washed-up has-been who treats people like shit. Speaking of douchebag clips of the week, during an appearance on the latest installment of Hatebreed frontman Jamie Jasta's official podcast, The Jasta Show. Yes, friends, everybody's got a podcast. Everybody, including your friend Michael Butler. Erna stated about Nikki Sixx, I'll say it straight out. I've never met a bigger, I can't read. I cannot read. I bet you anything that Jamie Jasta's podcast sounds much more professional than this, friends. And I'll bet you he can read. Erna stated, is that his name, Erna? Sully Erna from Hatebreed. No, from Godsmack. Don't know much about Godsmack, and I don't know much about Hatebreed. But Erna says, I'll say it straight up. I've never met a bigger fucking dick in my life than Nikki Sixx. He's a douchebag. Hey, there's an idea. Maybe I could start using some Nikki Sixx clips as a douchebag clip of the week. I don't know, maybe. That's just a thought. It's a suggestion from Erna, from Godsmack. He's a douchebag. He's a straight up fucking douche, and I don't give a fuck what he says. He knows exactly where I am. He knows exactly how he can find me. Anytime that motherfucker has the balls to come and look me up, I'll say it straight on your podcast. He's a dick, man. He just treats people like shit. Let me take a sip of this fine Tecate before I finish reading this. I'm getting upset now. Okay. Erna continued, I don't know what his deal is, man, but I can just tell you that he's the most, I don't even know what the word is for it. I've never met anyone like that. Yeah, I could have pulled the clip and played it on the show, but that would have required too much work. I figured I'd just read it. I don't even know what the word is for it. I've never met anyone like that. He's just so pompous and egotistical, and he feels like he's still on top of the world. He just thinks he's so relevant, and he's just an old, fat, washed-up has-been. He annoys me and I don't even deal with it anymore. It's lame. The Godsmack singer went on to detail some of the events that occurred on the Crew Fest 2 tour that caused bad vibes between the two bands. I actually went to that show. I saw Motley Crue and Godsmack. I did not think Godsmack was very good, and I did not think Motley Crue was very good. That was when Nikki Sixx had a guy thrown out for taking pictures. The guy was taking pictures with his iPhone in the front row, and he had him ejected from the concert. That there is why I'm not a Nikki Sixx fan anymore. I used to like Motley Crue. But after that, I could not be down with not. The guy throws a guy out for taking a picture with his phone. Come on, he was in the front row. He paid probably hundreds of dollars to take the picture, and Nikki Sixx had him thrown out. And by the way, when he was stopped, when he was pointing at the guy and having him thrown out, his bass was still going. So that should say something. Maybe, okay. The Godsmack singer went on to detail some of the events that occurred on the Crew Fest tour. Here's the difference. When you show up and you go see a band like an Aerosmith or whatever, right? They show up, they welcome you with open arms. They give you this amazing all-access laminate that you go, oh my God, I feel like I'm 15 again. Like I'm going to stick this in my photo book and keep it forever. And yet we go on tour with Crew. We show up and Nikki hands us our laminates. Oh, Nikki handed the laminates? Nikki Sixx actually went up to you and handed you your laminates. All right. I don't know if I believe that, but okay. So Nikki Sixx, okay, I lost my place. All right. Nikki hands us our laminates. It says, this is our laminate. Dude, it says, okay, dude, this is our laminate. Dude, I swear to God, I'm not even exaggerating. It's a white piece of paper, by the way, just blank on both sides, laminated, that says opening band on it. It doesn't say Crew Fest Tour. It doesn't say all access. It's like written with a fucking Sharpie. It just says opening band. And we just looked at it like, seriously? Boom, toss that in the salad bowl. He continued that Nikki is pass happy. Like, this one goes to this one, and that one goes to that one, and make sure this one doesn't come up to this, down this corridor, and this cannot film that side. We're like, dude, get a fucking grip on yourself. Seriously, it's like nobody cares. The only reason I even wanted to stand on the side of the stage was to watch Tommy Lee. Because I love watching that dude play. He's entertaining, it's funny, he's a good friend of mine. Erna went on and added, it's just that kind of stupid moves that make him look like such a dick. And if he could just see that the way he treats people and the way he conducts everything around him, there's a reason why people don't want to associate with him. There's a reason why he has zero respect in this industry. And the only people that really give a shit are the people that have just followed him back from the day or whatever. Back in the day. I can't read. Sully admitted that he was once a big fan of Motley Crue, who thought Nikki Sixx was a good fucking dude. The Godsmack frontman explained, Nikki looked cool. He looked like a rock star, and I was just so disappointed when I met him. Even Tommy Lee was like, man, I think you and Nikki are going to get along good. You're both businessmen. It couldn't have went any worse. It was a train wreck. But that's how he treated us from the beginning. That set the whole tone. And he says Nikki can say whatever he wants. He can make up whatever story he wants. The bottom line is that if you're the only person who's ever got this interview, by the way, you're so welcome. I don't respond to shit media-wise and publicity-wise because I'm not going to get into a big media war with him. Oh, okay, yeah, right, okay. Because I know that's exactly what he wants, so he can still feel like he's on top of the game. But this dude, the way he treats people and his attitude towards everything, and how he struts around like he thinks he's, and I don't even care about that, but if you think you're still a huge rock star, then that's cool, man. But I'm a human being, and so is everyone else, and this band takes a lot of pride in how we treat people because we know we're musicians. We're not rock stars, and we don't act like rock stars, and so I don't like it, man. I don't care if it even wasn't me. If I'd seen him treating someone else that way, I would have still had the same problem with him. Take a sip of this fine Tecate. Erna also took issue with the fact that Nikki Sixx has been bashing Godsmack in online posts and on Nikki's radio show, saying that the beef between the two musicians should never have extended to their bands. Sully explained, I told Tommy a long time ago. I actually sat and I had dinner with Tommy one night and I said, dude, listen, we've been friends for a long time. Never once have I ever dissed your band, ever. You know that. Your bass player is a whole another story. I've never dissed your band. So for this guy to just be bashing Godsmack, blah, 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 I'm like, dude, whatever. As a parting shot, Sully offered his opinion on the long-standing rumor that Motley Crue uses pre-recording backing tracks in its live show, something that Crue guitarist Mick Mars all but confirmed a year and a half ago. I've been saying, by the way, this is me talking now, I've been saying that they use backing tracks for a long time. They have been using backing tracks. I know it. I know for a fact they have been using backing tracks, and Nikki Sixx has tapes of his bass playing. Oh, look at here. Okay, let me see. I don't even think Nicky plays his bass during Motley Crue concerts, Sully said. I mean, I think all his bass tracks are on fucking Pro Tools. All of his backup vocals are on Pro Tools because I know the motherfucker that runs the Pro Tools. Once I went to see, I've said this story a million times, but I went to the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp back when Shane, the super producer, was around. I got access to the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp when Cheap Trick played acoustic, and they did a Q&A, and Tom Peterson, the bass player, he said something about his bass. He goes, it's kind of like Nikki Sixx's bass. It plays itself, which meant that Nikki Sixx doesn't play the bass, that there's bass tracks. So there you go. He knows the Pro Tools guy. There's a Pro Tools guy. I guess there is. They probably record all the shows because I know the motherfucker that runs the Pro Tools. All of his bass tracks are on Pro Tools. All of his vocal backups are on Pro Tools. All right, there you go. And what did Nikki Sixx say about it? He said, "Poor baby." That's his response. So there you go. Is that enough negativity on the show tonight? Why don't we get a little bit positive and see if I can play a song here. For Jason Shepard wanted to hear the Flexapleasers or American Heartbreak doing their Christmas tune. This is the Flexapleasers version. This is a song that Michael Butler of the Rock and Roll Geek Show wrote and sang on. The recording's not the greatest in the world. As a matter of fact, it's not really good recording at all, but hopefully you can hear it. This song is called The Greatest Christmas Song Ever Written by the Flexapleasers.
Do you remember burning down my Christmas tree?
There you go. All right, there you go. That was the Flexapleasers. Greatest Christmas song ever written. All right. So I got an email that says, "Hello, Michael Butler. My name is Robert Garcia, performer." I'm going to get closer because I can't see. It's in a light font. "Hello, Michael Butler. My name is Robert Garcia, a performer who sings and plays guitar. You could also say that I can't fucking read, man. You could also say an avid reader of the Rock and Roll Geek Show. Excuse me, pardon me, I'm burping up this fine Tecate. And, of course, listener of the podcast. I'm originally from New York, but now I find myself enjoying the lifestyle on Florida's West Coast. I'm writing to let you know that I am releasing the first song from my album, Theater of the Mind, in January, and wanted the opportunity to present it to you for review. If you do review it in January, it will be doing a huge social media and... All right, I just can't fucking read, man. I cannot read. Do you know that I have a high school... All right. Oh, fuck. I'm writing to let you know that I'm releasing the first song from my album, Theater of the Mind, in January, and wanted the opportunity to present it to you for review. If you do review it, in January, I will be doing a huge social media and publicity push that will also put many eyes on your blog reciprocally. So if I review it, he's going to send a lot of views to my blog, The Rock and Roll Geek Show. I hope for it to be a win-win for both you and to gain new fans. Both you and I to gain new fans. I'll get you some fans, you get me some fans. I'm writing to you specifically because I not only enjoy your blog and podcast, but I feel as though I am part of and connected to the community there. Back when you put up the Michael Schenker album track by track, I was hooked. You were spot on. We also share a lot of the same foundations. Cheap Trick, Nazareth, etc. I'd be honored to hear what you have to say about my music. The song is called Hello, and it opens the album. Theatrical and emblematic of the greatest decade in hard rock music. I like to categorize it as modern 70s. Most definitely blues-based with dirty rhythm guitars and soaring twin harmony leads, half of which are contributed by none other than Glenn Alexander from the legendary Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes. Melodic rock vocals in the style of Rod Stewart, Bryan Adams, or Bob Seger. That vocal style supported by operatic background vocals, supplied in part by local Sarasota native and Warner Reprise EMI recording artist Twinkle Shassel-Yochum. The other female vocal provided by Robin Smith, also of Sarasota. Combine all those elements with a driving rhythm section that could rival any of those that have made rock and roll legendary. There you have the ingredients that I chose to use for my brew. One of the fans said, it's as if Kiss, Queen, and Thin Lizzy had a threesome. All right, that sounds pretty good, right? You sold me. If Kiss, Queen, and Thin Lizzy had a threesome, that sounds like a good description of a great song. So he sent me the song, and I said, hey, Robert, send me the song. I'll do a Listening with Butler on my show. I appreciate it, friend. And he says, thank you. You are the greatest. And he sent me the song, so here we go with Listening with Butler. The guy is named Robert Garcia, and the album is going to be called, what is it called? Theater of the Mind. All right, so let's listen to Theater of the Mind. It's as if Kiss, Queen, and Thin Lizzy had a threesome. Here we go. Here we go. It's called Hello, the song.
Dad, when I grow up, I want to be a rock and roll guitarist.
Hello, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Hello, tonight I feel like the steel on a switchblade knife, shiny and bright, and I know it when I see you. Tonight could be the night that we light this fuse and watch it burn like on a keg of dynamite. and the first beatbox of a full house sold out show.
There you go. Huh. It's as if Kiss, Queen, and Thin Lizzy had a threesome. That's Robert Garcia's solo album. That song's called Hello. Let me know what you think of that song. I was listening with Butler. What do I give it? First of all, tell me what you think of it. Send me an email, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com, with the subject line, Robert Garcia solo album. Here's what I think of it. Or you can send me an audio comment, area code 706-621-ROCK, area code 706-621-7625, and say what you think of Robert Garcia's solo song called Hello, which sounds like if Kiss, Queen, and Thin Lizzy had a threesome, it would sound like Hello. That's what it says on his press release, friends. What do I give it? What do you think I give it? I give it a 10 plus, friends. I love it. It's fantastic. All right. Robert Garcia solo album. You can find more at You can find more at RobertGarciaSoloAct.com. RobertGarciaSoloAct.com. I'll put links in the show notes at rockandrollgeek.com, friends. All right. I have an audio comment somewhere here. Let me see if I can find this audio comment. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Hey, Michael. It's Chuck Spear, Rock and Roll Hoosier.
Hey, Chuck.
Spear rocks, all that good stuff.
Yes. Hey, Chuck.
Well, we'll start at the beginning. How are you doing?
I am super great. Could not be better. Thanks for asking, Chuck
Awesome.
Spear. Yes.
Well, hopefully you'll be a little better after this show review.
I'm fantastic.
It only took 35 years for it to happen.
A little tired, but
lo and behold, little band called Cheap Trick finally came to Terre Haute, Indiana,
nice.
hometown.
Very nice.
5 minutes away from home. What a dream
Nice.
come true. So, it was last Sunday night, 11:22, here in Terre Haute, and what they did is they took the Holman Center, which is the Indiana State University basketball arena. Back in the day, that's where Larry Bird played basketball, and they cut it into a theater wedge, which held about 3,500. Actually, ticket sales were probably, I would say, pretty soft. Probably half full, so yeah, believe it or not, no 33,000 or 3,500, but probably more like 1,700.
That's not that bad.
But, hey, I was there,
Not
the wife
bad.
was there, my buddy was there, a bunch of my other friends were there, so it's all good. They didn't cancel the show. But anyway, so that was sort of the setup. They just made like a theater wedge, 3,500-seat theater wedge there at the Holman Center in Terre Haute. So pretty sweet to be able to drive in your car, drive 4 miles, park your car, and then after the show, do the opposite and be home in 5 minutes. Pretty sweet. Like a dream come true, considering we've driven 7 or 8 hours to see them all throughout the Midwest, Kansas City, Milwaukee, St. Louis. So, yeah, pretty good times there. But they had 2 opening bands. One's from Indianapolis called the East Hills, and a friend of mine plays drums for them, Wade. So they played for about 30 minutes, and about 2/3 through their set, I'd gotten the missus for Christmas a meet and greet pass. So we had to take off, so we missed the rest of their set.
What a meet and greet pass for Cheap Trick costs.
Kind of Led Zeppelin-ish type of groove, rock, but real good. Very interesting style to them. But I had to take off, like I said, about 3/4 of the way through that set, and we had to go into the bowels of the Holman Center, and I was actually really surprised when I saw them and met them 2 years ago in Chicago. It was about 35 people for the meet and greet, so I thought in Terre Haute it might be, 10, 15 people, but it actually had almost 50 people.
Nice.
That bought that package, but it's well worth it. I mean,
what do you get in the package?
To be able to get premium tickets close to the stage, which we were second row right between Rick and Robin. Between that and getting to meet the band, pretty good deal for $250.
Oh, $250, okay.
So really, by the time you take out the concert ticket price, it was really only maybe $175.
$175 to meet the band.
So pretty sweet deal. So we were the very last people in line, but we made the best of it. Pretty interesting conversations that we had with the guys. As usual, Robin was all over Mrs. Spear.
Nice.
As you've met her before. She's a beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman.
She stood over next to Dax, and Robin walked over and took her by the shoulders and guided her next to her. So I guess it's a backhanded compliment, I suppose, that my favorite singer in the whole wide world thinks highly of my wife.
There
so
you
that's
go.
A good compliment, I
Good
guess.
attitude, Chuck Spear.
And I was down the other end talking to Rick Nielsen. I had my Rick's Picks Museum T-shirt at exhibit he had in Rockford a few years ago. I had that T-shirt on.
Nice.
And he's like, nice shirt, and we got to be in a conversation about it. And a cable access show had called Psychobabble had recorded a 10-minute segment on the museum and interviewed Lisa and I during that. I think you saw it on my Facebook page.
Yes, I did.
But anyway, kind of fun. And so I told Rick about that, and he's so hilarious. He's like, I said, yes, like about a 10-minute segment. And he goes, they interviewed you for 10 minutes? And I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. It wasn't all about me. And he's like, oh, I was going to say, you're not that interesting or something.
Nice.
He's so funny. When I walked in, I was like, how's it going, Rick? And he said, good morning. And it was 7 o'clock at night. What a riot. Those guys are so cool. So, and my buddy Mike had never met him before, so it was pretty neat to see him exposed to that. And then as a sidebar, one of our guitar players of our band Wayward Son, he's a 20-year-old kid, and I was trying to get him to go to the show, but he ended up working for it. The company he works for, the barbecue company, ended up catering it, and he ended up getting to watch the show from the side of the stage. So it's pretty cool to get texts throughout the show, him saying how awesome the show was. I said, yeah, that's how the big boys play, Us old farts, 50 and 60-year-old guys, we know how to rock still.
Exactly.
Pretty impressed.
We
so
old
that was
guys.
Kind of the highlight of the night.
Listen here, kids. This is how the big boys do it. Us guys over 50, we know how to rock and roll. Take your Justin Biebers and you know what to do with them. We got Cheap Trick on our side.
This will be my 29th time seeing
29 times.
So it's kind of cool to see.
I think I've probably seen him about that many times too, Chuck. We might be neck and neck.
A young man's perspective of how us, 70s rockers know how to do it. But
yes.
So anyway, as I said, the East Hills played 30 minutes. Then a band called Big Peyton's Damn Band. They're out of Indianapolis. It's like a guy playing like a dobro and then a drummer with a drum set that had like plastic tubs for tom-toms, and then a girl playing like a washboard It was a really kind of a bizarre type of setup, and they played for like 40, 45 minutes, and then about 8:15 is when Cheap Trick jumped on the stage. So here's the set list. Obviously starting out with Hello there, so no big surprise starting out. Then Come On from Live at Budokan. Hello Kitties, so, we're starting out pretty strong. And then Look Out right after that. So
nice. Look out, look out, look out.
Kind of a Budokan type of opening.
Yes.
And then into California Man as well. So you're still kind of starting out early.
I'm not going to sing tonight. Not going to sing. Lost my voice.
From there, they went into Ain't That a Shame. I know it's not your favorite.
Well, you
so this would have been your
my heart.
beer walk right here. So after California Man, you got Ain't That a Shame.
I don't hate it, but it's not one of my favorites. I've seen enough of it.
A 70s song. But you would have wanted to rush back because right after that, they played a brand new song. He said that they've got 2 albums coming out next year, a new studio album and a reissue of something, but he didn't say what it was. But this song is called No Direction, and here's a little bit of it.
All right, I cannot make this out at all, Chuck. Cannot make that out at all. I had heard that song I did hear a little bit of it on YouTube, and it was a pretty decent song, actually. It wasn't too bad. Let me get it fast. The Chuck Spear sounds. The recording is horrible, Chuck. All right.
Lap of Luxury.
Oh, wait a minute. Back up. Okay. Let's listen to the rest of it. Yeah, there you go. Pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty catchy number.
So kind of a Who-ish type song.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Rocker.
I was going to say that, yes.
So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
That was definitely the highlight of the night for me. From there, they went into If You Want My Love.
If You Want My Love,
off of Lap of Luxury,
you got
Never
it.
Had a Lot to Lose.
Never had.
Baby Loves to Rock.
That's my favorite song on Lap of Luxury, by the way.
Awesome.
My baby love more and more. I'm thinking about.
Then instead of I Know What I Want, Tom Peterson did I'm Waiting for the Man. / Heroin, of course. Then Robin comes out and does The Flame. Obviously, the band kicks in, full production.
Yeah.
Then I Want You to Want Me, Dream Police.
Right.
So you know you're getting towards the end of the set. But then they pulled out the other new song, Bang Zoom Crazy Hello.
I'm not crazy about
and
that,
they had
too.
the guys from the East Hills and Big Peyton come out and sing with them, so that was pretty cool. Closed the set with Surrender. Came out for an encore, Auf Wiedersehen, and Good Night Now. So really pretty solid set.
Yeah, decent
Great
set.
time and just amazing to be able to meet
Still
them again.
the greatest
and talk
band
to
in the
them, hang out
world.
with them in my hometown. So definitely digging the new song. New music coming out in 2015. Get ready.
I'm ready, friend. All right, thank you, Chuck Spear.
Hope you have a great
okay.
Thanksgiving.
You, too, can leave me an audio comment. Area code 706-621-ROCK. That's area code 706-621-7625. Or send me an MP3 to rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Thanks a lot, Chuck Spear. I really appreciate it. All right, I am really, really wait, no, I'm not quite done. I got one more thing I can do here. It's time for a new segment on the show. I got an email from Tim Smith, friend of the show, Tim Smith. He goes, "Hey, Michael, I'm listening to Chris Cornell covering Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You. It's pretty horrible. If you had a horrible cover of the week segment, this might be worth playing. Happy Thanksgiving and stay frosty." And I said, oh, it's Tim the Rock and Roll Runner. And I said, well, since you made up the new show segment, can you send me a clip of you talking? And I put this together.
Rock and roll geeks, it's time for the horrible cover of the week.
All right. Yeah, the jingles just come out of me, friends. They're just so there's no endless limit to the creativity coming out of these show bits that I'm doing. All right. So I'm not going to do Chris Cornell covering Sinead O'Connor covering Prince, but I am going to do a horrible cover of the week. This is, I don't know if you heard that Danzig we did this on Mad Dad podcast, but Glenn Danzig has a new album, and it's all covers. It's called Skeletons, and on the cover of it, it is a takeoff on David Bowie's pinups. He's got him standing in the front on the record, and he's shirtless, big, huge man boobs, and he's got his face painted like a skeleton, like Misfits. And next to him is porn star Caden Cross, taking the part of Twiggy on David Bowie's pinups, with her head leaning on Glenn Danzig's shoulder, and it's all covers. And one of those covers is a Aerosmith cover called "Lord of the Thighs." Most of the songs on it are kind of unknown, other than ZZ Top's "Rough Boys." Rest of them are kind of like old. I think there's a Young Rascals tune. There's some like Nuggets type songs, But this one is Aerosmith, "Lord of the Thighs," which is a fantastic song. Here is Glenn Danzig covering "Lord of the Thighs." Here we go. All right, I can't do it. It's fucking horrible. It's horrible. It's fucking bad. I don't know what all these sounds are coming through my computer, but okay. There you go. There's the horrible cover of the week. I don't know about that segment, but please send me your horrible cover of the week to rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Also, I need a new intro for it. If I'm going to do that segment, I need an intro for it as well, because that one that I made is not that good. Just give me something to put in the background. I'll put Tim Smith talking over it. All right, before we close out, one more little quick story. You know that 3/4 of the David Lee Roth Eat 'Em and Smile lineup, without David Lee Roth, Steve Vai, Billy Sheehan, and the drummer, who is, what's the drummer's name? Oh, Greg Bissonette. Pulled that one out of there. By the way, I'm a huge Steve Vai fan. That guy is a monster guitar player. Featherwitch does, we do a Whitesnake song. What's that song? Into the night, in the dome, new honey, if you've been around your door. What is that called? It's on This Still of the Night. There you go. And when I was learning the song, I pulled up some live footage of them, and they played Download Festival. Steve Vai was playing in the band in Whitesnake. That guy not only is a shredding guitar player, but the guy looks cool as shit on stage too. The guy totally rocks. And yes, I do. And yes, I did see David Lee Roth during that time. I didn't ever saw him live, but I remember the Eat 'Em and Smile time. So they were going to be doing a show. 3/4 of the band was going to be doing a show at the Lucky Strike at Live at Hollywood and Highland in Los Angeles. Steel Panther, the guy from Steel Panther, Ralph, whatever his name is, on lead vocals. They were going to be doing Eat 'Em and Smile songs. It was part of the Quiet Riot former bass player Chuck Wright Ultimate Jam Night. So they were going to do Ultimate Jam Night to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Eat 'Em and Smile. They had to cancel the show because unexpectedly entirely too many people thought this would be the perfect way to spend the night before Thanksgiving. And according to Billy Sheehan's Facebook post, the line outside the venue quickly grew too long to control, and he described it as utter chaos. The fire marshal was forced to shut down the show before the band ever got a chance to take the stage. And the worst part is David Lee Roth showed up, and he was going to do a surprise appearance. So there was going to be the Eat 'em and Smile lineup of David Lee Roth's solo band playing at this little at Lucky Strike. Did not happen. That even I would have loved to have seen that show. That was a good lineup. Not a huge fan of that Eat 'em and Smile album. It's has its moments. Not a huge fan of that. Not a huge fan of David Lee Roth solo, but that was a great lineup of a band, and that album did quite well for David Lee Roth. So it would have been nice to see that show. And in honor of that, why don't we close out the show with a David Lee Roth solo song, shall we? Before I do that, oh, by the way, I'm going out of town tomorrow. I'm leaving town for a week, so there won't be a Mad at Dad podcast. I don't know if you've been listening to Mad at Dad. We finally got the audio issues settled out, and we're doing it on Skype now, in addition to on Blab. Check that out at madatdadpodcast.com. If you have the Rock and Roll Geek app, it automatically comes down to you. Mad at Dad comes down as well as the Rock and Roll Geek show. Pardon me, I'm bourbon at this fine Tecate. But anyway, I'm going out of town tomorrow. I'm going to be flying to the mountains of Georgia to be staying with my stepfather up in the mountains of Georgia. And I'm going to be sitting in a tree. I got a tree stand delivered. I'm going to be bringing our guns. My wife and I are going, and we're going to be bringing our guns. I'm going to be sitting in a tree stand in Georgia. I'll probably be sitting in there with a .22 rifle, looking for squirrels and rabbits. Mainly just sitting in a tree, enjoying nature. And then we're going to drive down to Jacksonville. I'm going to stay with my friend Darren. We're going to do some hunting. So what I'm thinking of doing while I'm gone, I'm going to try to do a very quick episode a day, starting on Monday with little updates, little audio blogs of my trip. So maybe I'll do a show sitting in a tree stand waiting for a deer. Maybe you'll hear me shoot a deer. Or maybe you'll hear me fall out of a tree. Who knows? But I got a tree stand. I'm going to be sitting about 40 feet up in the tree, sitting with nature for a week. And let me tell you, man, I need it bad. I have been really stressed out, working my butt off lately, and I need the rest. So I will be hopefully giving you about 6 shows while I'm gone. Let's hope that happens, friends. All right, let's close out the show now with a song. Before I do that, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com, area code 706-621-ROCK. You can find me on the Facebook, R&R Geek. You can find me on the Twitter, R&R Geek. You can find me on the Instagram, Rock and Roll Geek. Don't ask. And thanks again for your donations, friends. Without your donations, this show would die a putrid, horrible, smelly death. Here is, all right, what do we want to play off Eat 'em and Smile? Let me see if I can find Eat 'em and Smile here. I have all of David Lee Roth stuff. There's Diamond Dave, there's DLR Band, Little Ain't Enough, Skyscraper. All right, something from Eat 'em and Smile. Well, I'll just play the best song on Eat 'em and Smile. Thank you for joining me, friends. We'll talk to you hopefully on Monday with a short episode from a tree stand. Take it away, David.
What? Well, let me roll up onto the sidewalk and take a look. Yes. Whoa! She's beautiful. I'm talking about a Yankee Rose. And she looks wild. Wild. Wild.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.